The American dream of owning a home is slipping away for many in 2025. What was once a rite of passage, a symbol of stability, success, and belonging, now feels out of reach for millions of Americans. The simple hope of having a place to call your own, to build a life and a future, is fading fast. Homes are now astronomically expensive, creating a full-blown affordability crisis. For many, the idea of buying a house is no longer just difficult, it's nearly impossible. Prices have soared to record highs, and the gap between what people earn and what homes cost has never been wider. The average US home price is over $500,000, not just in coastal areas but nationwide. Even in cities and towns that were once considered affordable, prices have skyrocketed. The dream of homeownership is no longer just a coastal problem, it's a national emergency. Millennials, the largest home-buying demographic, face soaring prices and high interest rates. Many are forced to delay major life milestones, marriage, starting a family, or even moving out of their parents' homes because they simply can't afford a place of their own. The hurdles keep getting higher and the finish line keeps moving further away. Wages stagnate while home prices skyrocket, leaving many as renters unable to save for a down payment. Rent eats up a larger and larger share of paychecks, making it nearly impossible to set aside enough for a future home. For many, the cycle of renting feels endless, with no clear way out. This systemic failure threatens the economic future of millions who played by the rules. People who worked hard, saved diligently, and did everything right are still being left behind. The promise that effort and responsibility would lead to security is being broken. The young couple, the graduate with student debt, and essential workers are all struggling. Even those with good jobs and steady incomes find themselves priced out, forced to make impossible choices between paying off debt, saving for a home, or just covering basic expenses. Existing homeowners see their equity grow, widening wealth inequality. Those who bought years ago are watching their net worth soar, while newcomers are locked out. The divide between the haves and have-nots is growing sharper with every passing year. This isn't just an economic issue, it's a societal one, eroding the social contract. Communities are fracturing as families are forced to move farther away from jobs, schools, and support networks. The sense of belonging and stability that home ownership once provided is slipping away. The reasons behind this mess are complex and infuriating. From limited housing supply and restrictive zoning laws to speculative investors and rising construction costs, the system seems rigged against ordinary people. Every headline brings more frustration, and solutions feel out of reach. The dream of homeownership has become a source of anxiety and despair. Instead of hope, there's a growing sense of fear. Fear of never being able to afford a home, of being forced to move, of losing what little security remains. The finish line for owning a home has moved to another planet. For many, it feels like chasing a mirage. No matter how hard they work or how much they save, the goal keeps slipping further away. Almost everyone who doesn't already own a home is having trouble. The crisis cuts across age, race, and background, affecting young families, single parents, recent graduates, and even middle-aged professionals. The dream is now a fantasy for the majority. What was once a cornerstone of American life is now slipping into the realm of myth, leaving a generation to wonder if the promise of home will ever be theirs. The housing supply in America is catastrophically low, and the effects are being felt in nearly every community across the country. Whether you're searching for your first home, trying to rent an apartment, or simply watching prices rise in your neighborhood, the reality is clear. There just aren't enough homes to go around. Experts estimate that we're short by millions of homes, some say as many as 6 million. This isn't just a number, it means families are doubling up, young adults are living with parents longer, and people are being priced out of the places they want to live. This shortage didn't happen overnight. It's the result of years of underbuilding, a trend that really took off after the 2008 financial crisis. When the housing bubble burst, construction ground to a halt, and many builders never fully recovered. Over the past 2 decades, we've underbuilt by about 5.5 million homes. That's a staggering gap, and it's only getting wider as demand continues to grow. The construction industry has struggled to catch up, facing labor shortages, rising material costs, and stricter regulations. Instead of building affordable starter homes, developers have focused on luxury properties. High land and construction costs make it more profitable to build for the wealthy. leaving middle and lower income families with fewer options. The market is driven by profit, not by the needs of everyday people. As a result, the affordability crisis keeps getting worse, with more and more people unable to find a place they can actually afford. With so few homes available, buyers are forced to compete fiercely for what's out there. Bidding wars are common, and prices keep climbing higher, shutting out even more would-be homeowners. Rising interest rates and increased investor activity only add fuel to the fire. Investors often snap up homes to rent or flip, making it even harder for regular families to buy. But at the heart of it all, the real problem is that we simply don't have enough homes. Until we find a way to build more affordable homes at scale, any other solution is just a temporary fix, like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic while the ship keeps sinking. The lack of supply is the bedrock of the crisis, the root cause that drives up prices and squeezes out families. If we want to solve the housing crisis, we have to figure out how to build more homes, especially ones that regular people can actually afford. That's the challenge we face, and it's one we can't afford to ignore any longer. The rate lock effect is one of the most significant forces shaping today's housing market, yet it's often misunderstood. At its core, the rate lock effect refers to the phenomenon where homeowners, who secured ultra-low mortgage rates in recent years, feel financially trapped and unable to move, even if they want or need to. This effect is essentially freezing the housing market, making it difficult for both buyers and sellers to make a move. Homeowners are stuck, not by choice, but by circumstance. Many are reluctant to give up their current homes because doing so would mean losing their low monthly payments and taking on much higher costs. During the pandemic, millions of families locked in mortgage rates as low as 3% or even lower, a once-in-a-generation opportunity that seemed like a financial blessing at the time. Fast forward to today, and mortgage rates have soared to between 6% and 7%. For many, this means that buying a new home would double their monthly mortgage payments, making moving financially impossible. On top of that, homeowners face steep financial penalties and extra costs if they try to break their existing mortgage contracts early, adding another layer of difficulty to moving. As a result, most homeowners are choosing to stay put, even if their current home no longer fits their needs. This decision keeps a huge number of homes off the market. In fact, about 82% of homeowners have mortgage rates below 6%, creating a kind of financial fortress that's hard to leave behind. This limited supply of existing homes means that buyers are competing fiercely for the few properties that do hit the market, driving up prices and making the market even more competitive. High interest rates not only discourage selling, but also keep inventory low and prices stubbornly high, making it tough for new buyers to break in. The result is a vicious cycle, a market gridlock where few people can move, and those who want to buy face steep competition and high prices. The rate lock effect is now one of the most powerful forces shaping the real estate landscape, influencing everything from inventory to affordability. It's created a market gridlock of epic proportions, with ripple effects that touch buyers, sellers, and even renters. The ghost of interest rates past continues to haunt today's market, shaping decisions and keeping the housing market in a state of suspended animation. Millennials and investors are battling for scarce starter homes. Millennials eager to buy face off against institutional investors. Investors buy homes to rent, driving up prices and reducing supply. They offer cash and waive contingencies, outbidding regular families. This investor surge reshapes the market, turning homes into rental streams. The dream of home ownership is being dismantled and sold off. The result is a market where regular families can't compete. The dream of home ownership is slipping away. Local zoning laws are a hidden villain in the housing crisis. Single-family zoning restricts new housing, inflating land costs. Restrictive policies have prevented millions of homes from being built. Regulations add time, cost, and uncertainty to construction projects. NIMBYism opposes new development, fearing change and lower property values. This red tape creates a construction bottleneck, choking off supply. Some cities are reforming laws, but progress is slow. Homeowners resist change, even if it prices out their own children. It's a classic case of pulling up the ladder after climbing it. The housing crisis is worst in coastal hubs like California and New York. Manhattan's average home price is $3 million, 4 times the US average. Silicon Valley's San Jose follows with nearly $1.95 million. Other cities like Los Angeles, Honolulu, and Brooklyn also have sky-high prices. These prices highlight a fundamental market breakdown. Essential workers face long commutes or are priced out entirely. These cities are exclusive enclaves pushing out non-wealthy residents. The gap between wages and home prices is unbridgeable. These aren't just expensive markets, they're exclusive enclaves. The crisis has reached epidemic levels in these areas. Building a house in 2025 is incredibly costly. Labor shortages, supply chain issues, and tariffs drive up costs. The construction workforce is aging, with not enough replacements. Tariffs on materials like lumber add thousands to home prices. Rising insurance costs in disaster-prone areas add to the burden. These factors create a headwind against new construction. Even when we build, homes are more expensive than ever. The market shows signs of a slowdown, offering hope. Price growth is slowing, with some markets seeing declines. More homes are for sale, giving buyers choices. Sellers are cutting prices, shifting power towards buyers. The Federal Reserve may cut interest rates, easing affordability. Lower rates could unlock the market, encouraging sales. However, lower rates might reignite competition and raise prices. The market is at a delicate inflection point. The next 6 to 12 months will be crucial. There's a glimmer of hope on the horizon. The path to affordability is long and requires effort on multiple fronts. Building more homes is critical, requiring zoning reform. We need to allow more missing middle housing in desirable areas. Addressing building costs involves workforce development and tariff re-evaluation. Large-scale investors' role in the market needs examination. A shift from NIMBY to YIMBY is essential for affordable housing. Affordable housing benefits everyone, not just property values. The road ahead is challenging, but the goal is achievable. Tackling root causes and embracing pro-housing policies is key. We can mend the market and restore the American dream. The dream of homeownership doesn't have to be a story of the past. There's hope for a future where homeownership is attainable again.